Welcome to this Saturday Travel and History Tip, and today we will be going to the small town of Grand Saline, Texas. Yes, saline as in salt, and the Salt Palace Museum and Visitor Center. Grand Saline is an unusual town. It's sitting atop of a massive load of natural salt, estimated at 16,000 feet deep. Civil War era salt works were used by the Confederates, and the salt industry has never left. The Grand Saline Dome is estimated to last for another 20,000 years past the salt. The Salt Palace is a small one-story building in downtown Grand Saline, and it is constructed of local salt blocks. It has been rebuilt on the same site at least 3 times. The most recent Salt Palace was built in 1993, replacing the one that was built in 1975, which replaced the one that was built in 1960, which replaced the original Salt Palace built for the 1936 Texas Centennial. That one resembled the Alamo. Seems like when the economy goes bad, someone in the town yells, "Build a Salt Palace!" In 1995, a small museum was created inside the Salt Palace, exhibiting salt mining artifacts and memorabilia. Morton Salt, which owns the actual mines, does not conduct an underground tour, but a museum video shows mining operations. Every Salt Palace visitor takes home a souvenir salt crystal. There have been those reports that you're not supposed to lick the building, but you can. When you go visit the Salt Museum, be sure to lick the building. Grand Saline is located 65 miles east of Dallas and northwest of Tyler. One of the interesting things that they had in the museum that had nothing to do with salt was this is the first TV that was sold in Grand Saline. This television set was sold by Joe Bailey Furniture Company and later taken back as a trade-in. Patrick Harrison Construction Company from Ireland repaired and reconstructed the mine shaft in the fall of 1985. Bolts in the 700-foot shaft had not been replaced in 25 years. The docent at the museum explained to us that it is a very sterile environment. The workers do not wear masks. It's a healthy place to work. Stainless steel bolts were used to attach kauri wood in 24-foot lengths. Each section of wood cost approximately $1,000, and 114 sections were used in the mine shaft. Kauri wood is a very hard, durable wood imported from Australia. It is impervious to insects. Salt is used in all types of things like water softening, making ice cream. Everyone probably has a big canister of Morton Salt in their pantry. Morton Salt's slogan is, "When it rains, it pours." Notice, no person except employees or persons accompanied by employee are allowed to ride, cage, or operate signal. Before entering the cage or loading anything on cage, give hoistman 3 bells on signal after cage has stopped at landing. After hoistman answers with 1 bell, enter cage or load material. Then give hoistman 2 bells. Do not attempt to enter or leave cage after giving hoistman final 2 bells. When coming out of the mine, give hoistman 2 bells on signal after all persons and material are clear of cage. The docent also explained to us why there are different coloring in salts, and it depends on the minerals that are nearby. And she talked about Avery Island in Louisiana, where a lot of salt is also found, and how it is more tainted, and that the salt there in Grand Saline is pure and clear. She said Himalayan salt has iron in it, and that gives the pink tones. There are salt blocks available for animals, and there is a video playing in the museum to show what is happening over at the plant because, as I've said earlier, no tours are given. The little room is just loaded with pieces of salt and old-timey salt shakers throughout the years. There are 2 famous people that called Grand Saline home at one time. One of them is Wiley Posts. He was a pioneer aviator. He was born in 1898 in the community of Corinth in Van Zandt County, near Grand Saline. In the late 1920s, he obtained flight training, made his first solo flight, and acquired an air transport license. Despite the loss of one eye in an oil-filled accident, Post worked as a barnstormer, commercial pilot, and flight instructor. But he may be most remembered for this. Post and humorist Will Rogers died in a plane crash on a trip to Alaska in 1935. His plane, the Winnie Mae, is in the Smithsonian Institution's Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. They also honor Chris Tomlin with Chris Tomlin Boulevard. Award-winning Christian singer-songwriter Chris Tomlin was born in Tyler, Texas and lived in Bowler, Texas before moving to Grand Saline at the age of 3. He graduated from Grand Saline High School, and Grand Saline is proud to be his hometown. Chris Tomlin is Christian music's biggest artist with 4.5 billion worldwide streams and is the first Christian artist with over 1 billion streams on Pandora. He has 17 #1 radio singles, a Grammy Award, 3 Billboard Music Awards, 26 Dove Awards, 2 Platinum, and 5 Gold albums to his credit. Tomlin was awarded 2014 Songwriter of the Year. It is estimated each week 20 to 30 million people sing one of his songs in worship. According to CNN and Time magazine, Chris Tomlin's songs are sung more than 3 million times a year in churches worldwide. CCLI reports that 128 songs that Tomlin wrote or co-wrote were used in churches, earning him the title Most Sung Artist. His family has loaned some memorabilia to the museum in his honor, and one of those items is this. Presented to City of Grand Saline, Texas, to commemorate the RIAA Gold certification of more than 500,000 copies of the single Good Good Father. And I have to tell you, that is my favorite song by him. A little bit about salt. Sodium chloride, or common salt, has been an important factor in the history of civilization as far back as the memory of man. It is a necessity to human and animal life. Salt has been used through history, and there have even been wars over salt. The company that owns the mining has changed hands over the decades, and the current company is still using the name Morton Salt. It was most recently purchased in October of 2021 by Stone Canyon Industries, and after our tour of the tiny museum, we drove out to see the entrance and part of the workings of Morton Salt. I did forget to tell you why they have to replace the building. It's because the humidity and rain and weather just melts the salt away eventually. Here are the salt crystals the docent gave us. And Steve had to lick the building on our way out. The Salt Palace. It's all a part of American history. Learn it. Love it. And I'm going to stop right here and tell you that when you visit, they will give you, besides a little chunk of salt, a little set of salt and pepper shakers. Appreciate it. Don't let them steal our history. Teach children our American history. Next Saturday, Price Tower. You won't want to miss that one. Hope you watch the Saturday Travel and History Tips. If you appreciate our content, tell others and repost on your social platforms. Thank you.